The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
Skating on the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In Robert Thomas, we find our glory, his skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight and we must, for the city we love. In the blue, no we'll thrust.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 130 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for Blues news, views, and fan interviews. Presented by Scooters Coffee. Blues fans can score amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. I've actually been out of coffee at my house, and I've been too lazy, but also broke to go just buy regular coffee. So instead, I use the half off coupons that our Scooters gave me, and I've just been going to Scooters, which has cost me more money than if I just went and bought regular coffee to make it home. But
hey, if you got the coupons, might as well use them, right, Jacob?
I guess so. I mean, and it's better than the coffee I would make at home. I just get the great value donut stuff, so it's not like it's any donut shop. It's not very good. All right, we're back, episode 130. We've had a couple episodes so far this season of me with a guest, and then a couple episodes of Dakota with a guest. And this episode, we didn't have a guest, but we really didn't work too hard for it because we were kind of like, you know what? Me and Dakota have not been able to talk, so let's just let us talk. We're just gonna do us two for tonight. So typically, these are the worst episodes that are ever listened to. People don't like hearing what I say, and I guess people don't like hearing what Dakota says. They prefer somebody else, but we're running with it. I do already have to give a shout out here. Sam is on watching. Thanks for watching, Sam, all the way in not Springfield, Massachusetts, just outside of Springfield. But thanks for watching, Sam. All right. Dakota, I forgot. I gotta pull it up. I wanted to talk to you about something that is completely random and has nothing to do with hockey, and I have to find it because I wrote it down.
I was like, we're already forgetting ad reads. I feel like we just did this.
No. Where is it? No, that's not it. Maybe it is it. Oh, well, I think this was it. So I went to Walmart earlier today. I did like the Walmart pickup. Have you ever done the Walmart pickup? Okay. Mm-hmm. So the person comes out and like checks your name. He's like, is it you? And I'm like, yeah. And then he goes to the back and puts everything in the trunk. And then they always come back to my window and say, okay, you're good to go. And I have this weird feeling like, am I supposed to tip this person? Do you
see
tip?
that? No, I feel like no. I feel like it's a fine line because I've always thought that too. Like I usually do the Target orders. My wife's a huge like Target person, so like Walmart's like in a clutch, like in like a very clutch situation where Target is like we're always placing a pickup order for Target, and like when they come to my window, it's like, do you have the code? Yep, give them a 4-digit code, and then I like get my stuff delivered, and I'm like, do I tip them? Right. But I don't want to be like that awkward person that tips them and be like, no, I can't take that. So I just feel like, all right, I'll just like put it in the pocket. Because I feel like they there's some places that like they like you can't tip them. Because like there's no way to like track it.
Yeah, because they're already getting paid
right
too much, or
I don't know.
Not necessarily too much, but yeah, I don't know. That's just that kind of.
But you tip a waiter or a waitress because they're providing you a service. They're also kind of providing
me a service. I mean, somebody went. He probably didn't, but somebody went and picked up all my groceries, and then that person brought them out to me. So I
Right.
guess if you tip them, you got to tip share. You got to have a tip share of some sort in there too. Now we're getting in
That's
deep.
true. Because now I feel like everything is based off of convenience, right? You can order groceries to your house via DoorDash, via Uber Eats, via Instacart. You can
But you
pick up your
tip on
groceries
that,
without
right?
actually exactly you tip on that. So it's like
Yeah.
that fine line between like, do I need to or do I not? Am I a horrible person? Like, are they gonna be like, wow, this person sucks? I don't know.
Right.
It's a
It's
weird
okay.
question.
I
Yeah.
round up when I go to McDonald's, so that's my good charity right there. The last meal I think I had was like $9.97. And you're like, you want to round up? I'm like, who says no to rounding up 3 cents? I'm like, no, I want to keep it. So,
That's true. That's true. That's a weird
all right,
question. I haven't thought about that, but no,
right.
that's good to think about. Yeah.
Good. Now you're gonna go get pickup and you're gonna be like, shit, did I give this guy $1? All right, we do have Wilkie listening. Wilkie asks, are Monday live streams going to be a regular thing for the rest of the season? Wilkie, I will tell you, we record on either Monday or Tuesday night. It typically depends on the guest and when they can do it. But as Wilkie knows, I am in soccer season, and most of our games end up being on Tuesday nights. And so Tuesday nights right now are kind of out for me. So as long as I'm running the podcast and I'm the boss, which is fun to say, we're going to, shoot for Mondays. And then once soccer season ends, I'll be free Monday or Tuesday, either way. But it's going to be one of those. Time kind of works the same way. So depending on when the guests can make it is when we try to be available as much as we can. Also, shout out for Dakota because Sam likes your Blues jersey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Actually, I think to bring it all together, Wilkie was just at the Dallas preseason game. Him and his wife went down to Dallas for the preseason game, and he's got a camo version of a Blues jersey. It's not the same one you have. It's like a darker black one, but it's pretty cool too.
I wish the Blues did more of these. Like when I went last year to a game, like you always try to go to the shops, right, and like kind of look around New Jerseys. They did this like black one that I thought was really cool. Obviously, the Hockey Fights Cancer one is the one I'm gonna probably do this year. Just cancer's hit our family a whole lot this year, so I felt like it's very fitting. But I always like those like themed jerseys that the Blues do. They used to do one where it was military appreciation. I think they still do that, and they auction off the jerseys. But I always think it's a nice little. I mean, yeah, you could do it with the regular Blues jersey, but if you got like a special edition, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And that's something we need to really talk about this year. Is the new threads. I think I've seen still a lot of people coming out of the woodwork about that they're just not a big fan. They just feel like it's just like they didn't see anything change. Like I feel like the Blues note is a little longer, maybe a little more like whimsical in a way. But I like the new jerseys. I like what we saw. And I hope they bring us a Stanley Cup in 2025.
That'd be sweet. 2026 technically is when it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But Wilkie's got the black military tribute, and he does like the new jerseys. And I will say, I think just watching, because we're going to get into the preseason games, I guess, right now. But so the first thing to talk about for these preseason games is the jerseys. And I've always been kind of partial to the white jersey. I just think the color pops more off of the white jersey. My favorite jersey that I've had from the past is my white Ryan O'Reilly jersey. And so I even got made fun of for wearing that too when we played the Jets in the playoffs the year we won the cup. They're like, dude, they do a whiteout. Why are you wearing a white jersey? I'm like, well, it says O'Reilly on it. Like, it's got the blue note. So, but I do think they look fresh. I know a lot of people have also complained about about the new home jersey, and just saying, well, I already have it. Like, I already have that because I have the Heritage jersey, or I have the Winter Classic jersey from that. And so I understand that argument, but the white ones are completely new, and I think they look freaking great.
I really enjoy the new stitching element that they've added to the jersey. I think that they added the STL is stitched on the lower part of the jersey, like the fabric, that part that gets tucked into most jerseys. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool. It kind of adds that tradition of St. Louis, the heritage of St. Louis. I think that's really unique. I know people are going to say that I feel like that we've already had these jerseys before, but I really do think that they did a really nice job. I think they're very, well.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Dakota? He just froze. All right. Well, I don't know if Dakota can hear me or not because he is frozen. But Jeremy enjoys the white jerseys, and I am going to agree as well. Now we have a second Dakota. Are you here? Can you see yourself frozen in the middle right now?
No, I can't, but I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what's happening.
I hope this is being broadcasted. It's got me on the left, you on the right, and a frozen you in the middle.
I don't know what happened. I was like, it just like booted me out, and now I'm just like, all right, cool, all right, I'm done. I should be out, right?
I kicked your other person out. Yeah. Are you in?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go. Yeah. Jeez
Okay.
Louise.
Oh,
What
there
the
we go.
hell was that?
I don't know. You just froze for a second. All right. I did pull up. You could probably see it now. Jeremy posted or commented and said he loves the white ones. And Sam, same way. Really enjoying the white jerseys. So I will say, just with Sam here, Sam, I really like the new Thunderbirds threads with the gold for the, I don't remember. You'll tell me. I know you're going to comment, but whatever year anniversary this is for them. But the gold kind of stitching on there is pretty sweet.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was going to say the same exact thing. I thought the new Thunderbird jerseys were really cool too. Everybody's getting new threads.
I might have to get a Thunderbirds jersey. We'll see. All right, let's hop into preseason games because hockey is back finally. We are 10-year anniversary. I was like, I knew Sam would let me know. 10-year anniversary. Saturday, Blues played at Dallas. They lost 1-2 in a shootout. Did not score a single shootout, which was disappointing. Carbo gets goal, or the only goal for the Blues. Binnington stopped 19 of 20. Ellis went in for the third period, stopped 14 of 14, and then just did let in one of the shootout goals, but the Blues didn't score any. So not on Ellis. Was this the game you were able to catch, Dakota, or part of it?
No, because I was in Tennessee, but I did watch a lot of the highlights, and I was on a decent amount of like Blues feeds that were just kind of talking about the game. So I was literally like watching it vicariously through other people. But I think the biggest takeaway from that entire game is, yes, Justin Carbonneau scoring, but I think the addition of seeing Logan Mailloux, we got a decent sample size of him. I think he played 16 plus minutes. I could be wrong. I can't remember what it was.
25.
25 was it? Jeez. Okay. 25 minutes. Great sample size, right? That's something that I think the Blues have done a good job in, like immediately throwing him in first game. We were talking about the last two podcasts that you weren't able to join in, but what are we going to see from him this year, right? He's going to be your third line defenseman, right? So like, what are we going to see? What are we going to take away from him playing in the preseason? Is he going to add some like offensive ability? He assisted on the Carbonneau goal. So, already one game, one assist. Like I would love
on
to
the
see
power
that
play
be,
too.
Exactly,
nice.
On the power play. I'd love to see that be a thing that we see going into the regular season.
Okay, are you wanting to see Mailloux goal or Mailloux assist in the regular season, Carbo goals, or both in the regular season?
Well, I don't think Carbonneau is going to make the roster.
Okay, so that's kind of where my question was going because Jeremy just said he's been saying it since rookie camp that Carbo is making this roster. And Jeremy's got a really cool garage that he watches games in, so he knows his stuff.
I feel like the idea of Carbo making the roster, like we talked about in the last couple podcasts, and so have you, is just like we just have so much talent and depth from the top to the bottom. Like, where are you going to put these? Where are you going to put these guys? Like, I know that they're coming out and they're showing out, and like we talked on a last podcast, like it's everybody's to lose, like everybody's fighting for a spot. I just want them to develop, and hopefully, maybe this year, maybe next year, they get a spot. But I think we do have a really good depth going for us right now with the addition of Dalibor Dvorsky. We have Pius Suter, Nick Bukestad we added in the offseason. With Logan Mailloux, we just now kind of got our first taste in the preseason. Like, I think our team is going to be really well set. barring anything that happens during the regular season, whether it be injuries or what that means. Sure, I would love to see a Justin Carbonell come up. I would love to see a Theo Lindstein or a Otto Stenberg. But like, I just think our roster is kind of set coming out of camp. There may be a roster spot or two that's not spoken for. But who knows? Hey, that's why we're here talking about it as fans, and we're not the coaches that are behind the scenes making all the shots. So,
I guess what the interesting thing would be, and I'm trying to see if I can figure it out on Puckpedia, but I think it was with Jake Neighbors the year he played. So he was kind of on the edge of making the roster his very first year, and they could not send him to the AHL, which kind of sucked. Like, if they were going to send him down, he had to go to juniors because of his age or because of his contract, whatever it may be. And so he got the 9-game trial in the regular season. He's allowed to play 9 games before they make a decision. And then they decided to say, you know what, he's not ready for the NHL, so we're going to send him to juniors. But they also are like, he's overqualified for juniors. So I wonder if Carbo is going to be in that same sort of boat of, you know what, he might be overqualified for juniors. So we'd really want him to play for the Blues, but we can't send him to Springfield because of his age.
Forgive me because I'm like really, really dumb when it comes to stuff, when it comes to like signings and contracts and like who goes where and how it all works from top to bottom. But so he did sign his 3-year entry-level contract with the Blues, a week ago? So that entry-level contract,
I know he signed it, yeah.
That's a 2-way, correct?
It is a 2-way contract. Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah, because they're waiver exempt. He doesn't have to go through waivers. Like, no one can pick him up.
So would this be a situation if does Carbo also get the 9-game? Like,
yeah, that's a NHL rule. So he can have a 9-game trial before he either has to, I guess, make the decision to go down to whatever his, I guess it might probably be up to his juniors team. Because I know he decided to do juniors again because there was a thought of him going back to, or going and playing college. But because he was going to go to Boston University and play with James Higgins, which would have been really nice. But yeah, he ended up signing, I think, with his junior team. So I'm wondering if that's the case. So it's possible maybe we get 9 games out of him in the NHL, unless they just decide it's time for him to go down. So Jeremy says he's in the queue. He's with the QMJHL, Quebec Major Junior Hockey League.
I am so excited to see this team. I'm excited to see the team of the future. I'm excited to see the team now. Like, there are just so many really good offensive and defensive players that the Blues currently roster right now. And it's a good time to be a Blues fan. Like, I know we've gone through our ups and downs as fans, for the last 6 years post Stanley Cup victory. But like, man, this team gives you some hope, because last year we were talking about the retool and whatever you want to call it, the regroup.
All the re's.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden now we're like, this is it. Like, we've got a good team. And Jim Montgomery comes into camp just happier than a pig in shit. Sorry for the cussing, family channel. And he's ready to go. I think the team's ready to go. I think we're all ready to just see the team just come out and actually put what they have on paper in the standings. So,
yeah. And how great is it that we're spending all this time talking about an 18-year-old who is playing well and deserves it, obviously. But we have Jimmy Snuggerud, who's 21, Dylan Holloway, who's 23, Jake Neighbors, who's 23, Robert Thomas, and 26, Jordan Kyrou, 27. Like, all of these guys, Parayko's 32, but Broberg, 24, Mayu, we just got 22. Even Tucker. I love Tucker. He's going to be a staple, I think, for the Blues on the third line for a while. He's 25. So, like, we have a really healthy future, I believe, but also a really healthy current as well. So I think it's a good time. The last 2 years, maybe not so much a good time to be a Blues fan, but we're finally back. And if you only had to wait 2 years instead of like Chicago's 8, I'll take it.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. I think you talked about this last episode, Dakota, but Jeremy is wondering thoughts on Milan making the team.
I mean, like, I did kind of address it softly last podcast. Like, I think he just really wants a team to play for. Like, I think he's coming in with a very different mindset. I think he's ready. I think he's definitely like his conditioning. Like I said, Pareko said before I made my departure from Flower Child, but Pareko was like, yeah, like he came in ready. Like he looks like he never missed a beat, which is great. Like the guy is older, so you would think that maybe he's gonna drop the ball a little bit, but no, if his conditioning is right, and what I just don't like. Again, we talked about this like 5 minutes ago. Like I just don't know where he's going to fill the roster. Like I can understand him being like a locker room guy, but I feel like we've got enough of those guys in Braden Shen, Colton Pareko, Cam Fowler, Justin Falk. Like I just feel like we have enough of those locker room depth guys that have been there, have done that, seen, playoffs, been through the grit of an NHL season, that I just don't think we need a Milan Lucic. It would be cool to kind of have his name be a Blue, but I mean,
Throw
unless
it in
he
the Raptors
blows
next to Brodeur.
Brodeur and Gretzky, yeah,
Yeah.
Blues legends. Lose legend. No, I just don't see it being a thing that like makes the most sense. But hey, unless he knocks the socks off of Alexander Steen and the Blues front office, I just maybe it's a good way for him to get signed by another team down the road. But who knows?
That's where I feel like, at least on paper, the only position up for grabs right now is that one of the wingers on the third line.
Mm-hmm.
You can pencil in Matthew Joseph for that. If we want to go with Dvorsky and just start him on the wing, kind of give him the Robert Thomas treatment, we could do that. Or my other option would probably then be Milan Lucic. So if that is going to be your spot, then you're picking between, those three, maybe Texier. But Texier is probably just going to play 20 games or whatever he did last year unless somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, I think that's a good opportunity for Dvorsky. I just like if they're gonna put Dvorsky on the roster, play him.
Oh,
Play
absolutely.
Him. Like do not let him sit on the bench and like kind of ruin his development. Like play him, let him develop as an NHL player. I know we had a small sample size last year of the NHL, but like if he put on some weight and he put on some some muscle, I do think he could be. I mean, like if a Nathan Walker can play the fourth line and make a hell of a living, a Dalibor Dvorsky can easily slot in at the third line and just easily move himself up. So if you're gonna put him on the roster, you got to play him. Taxier, I think, is going to be coming in clutch off the bench. I think he did well last year. I think he really only played like maybe 40 games, less than that, 30 games. Because Joseph really kind of took that line by storm, and Texier was just kind of filling in from time to time, whether it was injury or whether it was matchups. But yeah, play Dalibor Dvorsky.
Yep. You get into that conversation, and I think this was kind of part of the conversation on whether Dvorsky was going to make the team last year or not, is do you want him playing third line NHL minutes? I would assume if he's playing third line NHL minutes, they're probably throwing him on the power play, something too, maybe the second power play unit. Or do you want him playing first line center in the AHL and getting more minutes, more, anytime, extra man on the ice? It's probably Dvorsky, top power play units, maybe even some penalty kill. So that's the but if you again follow the Robert Thomas plan, he started as a right winger, so he played on that Maroon and Bozak line during the Stanley Cup run. So,
I mean, I use it as like he's going to learn nothing but good things from Robert Thomas as somebody who's going to mentor him. I know mentorship, like maybe he needs be a little bit older, but Robert Thomas has been a part of the league for a long time now. He's going to be under Braden Shen's wing as well. Braden Shen is, I think, getting older in years, and I think he's going to add a lot to that development of Dvorsky, whether he play the wing or he plays center. But when that time comes and he does center for the Blues, whether it be this year or next, he's only going to have that NHL experience. Whereas like in the AHL, yeah, you're playing against other AHLers, but in order to be an NHL player, you got to be able to stand tall against the best of the best in the faceoff dot and protecting your wing. And the only real competition you're going to get is playing those minutes in the NHL. He might be averaging 12 and a half to 13 minutes a game, but it's that NHL experience that is going to make him a better NHL player. Maybe not this year, but definitely down the line.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just to throw some comments in, Sam did note that Devo is only 20. So again, even a guy I didn't even think I mentioned when we were going through all the young guys, but Dvorsky on there with 20. Jeremy's with you on that, Dakota. Devo on the team, hopefully starting that third line winger. What else do we got here? Sam and Sam's our like go-to. We got Sam, and then we got the guys from the Shake, Rattle, and Goal podcast, but they're our go-to Thunderbirds experts. So I know Sam's seen Dvorsky play quite a bit, so you can trust what she says, that Devo's a force to be reckoned with, and she's not going to be happy when Devo comes here. I know. Let's go ahead and tackle this one. Who do you guys think is who the Blues are going to be sending down to Springfield? I know there's still a lot of people on the roster. I would expect, the usuals like Matthew Pekka, Leo Loof, Kessel might be. I don't think Kessel's going to be starting, but he might just be our extra defenseman that stays.
Yeah,
up.
I think we'll have a 1 forward, 1 D as a scratch.
Yeah, so you guys might not get Kessel. Dvorsky, we've kind of just been talking about. He's going to be, I guess, whatever they decide. Is he going to start on the third line, or is he going to start on the first line for Springfield? Denberg, I know, has had a good camp, but again, I don't think there's anywhere for him to go. So you should have him there. Jacob Stansel, I'm pretty sure. Pekarsik, Kaskamaki. I'm going to expect most of the guys that you got that Springfield had last year. I don't know if I would expect really any shock movements to be either staying up with us or not going down.
Yeah, I think the roster from last year pretty much stayed consistent. We lost 3 guys. We got 3 guys. And then obviously with Springfield's roster pretty much being like, I would say staying the same.
Mm-hmm.
The only addition that I think would be cool mid-season is, I know we're going to probably jump into this probably later down the line, but like if for some reason the Blues are sellers at the deadline, I would imagine that we would probably take a goaltender and get rid of JB's contract. That would be
his last. Well, no, he's got 2 more years.
He ends when
he's got 2 more years. You got this year and next year.
So I would say that would be probably a thing. So whether it be Zarenko or Ellis, but who knows? But I think we're pretty much staying put with the Springfield roster and ours, which is going to be great. Like, they did pretty well last year. We did pretty well, obviously. I mean, with the first round exit we did, but man, it's really looking good for both our farm club and the NHL roster. So.
Mm-hmm. Sam did note that Kessel is on a one-way contract, which does give him a little bit more leverage on staying up. But I will say, with a one-way contract, he still can go down. He just has to pass through waivers and hope nobody takes him. And then the nice thing, the reason players want one-way contracts isn't necessarily so they can't get sent down. It's just so that when they get sent down, they get the same salary. Their salary doesn't change. When they're on a 2-way contract, they have an NHL salary and they have an AHL salary. So it depends on where they're at. So Kessel's one-way contract guarantees him his NHL contract, but then he still could be getting paid. What is it? I think it's like $900,000 is what Kessel's at. But he's getting paid for that, whether he's paying for the Blues or playing for Springfield. So
not bad.
All right. Yes. All right. We haven't even covered the second preseason game, but we also lost 1-4. So maybe we just skip that one and act like it didn't happen. Did you see the Blues Facebook post actually about preseason games?
Yeah, if we win, it's great, and if we lose, guess what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if we win, it matters. If we win, it's important. If we lose, it's just preseason. So who cares?
But hey, if you look at the stat sheet, yeah, we only had 1 goal scored, but you had Nikita Alexandrov. We haven't even talked about him.
Mhm.
He's kind of a wild card. He could be up, could be down. I'd really like to see him shine in the AHL because I do think he would be a good NHL talent. Again, we just have so much depth where you're going to go. Then you got Justin Carbonneau with the assist, and then you got Milan Lucic. Like, what the hell? Like, the guys
I was actually going to add, so that goal that Nikita Alexandrov scored was actually just him standing in front of the net and it hit off his leg. Carbonneau shot it. And so I think I got the notification on my phone that it was Carbo's goal, and then they went back and looked at it. So in his 2 games played, he does have a goal and an assist, but it was almost 2 goals. He's also, as of 30 minutes ago when this recording started, the only player in the National Hockey League to play 2 preseason games so far. Everybody else has only played 1.
That's really smart from the Blues to kind of see what they're getting out of them. Use the preseason as like like an extension of a tryout. But like, hey, like, what do you got? You're playing against guys that are either going to be in the AHL or the NHL. Like, what do you got? So I think it's smart.
All right. Like anytime there's a broadcast, whether it's like NFL or NHL or whatever it is, they always have like the stat guys. Like there's the people that are on the microphones talking, but then they have the stat guys in the background that are like feeding them information to talk about. I just got to point out that's Sam for us because she is absolutely killing it right now. Here's her list of players that she thinks are going to be heading back to Springfield, which is more, I think we talked about most of them. Sam Bitten, I had forgotten about. Simon and Peterson are, again, guys that you guys had last year. So most of the guys that you guys had last year. She's also got me down. I nailed it. 900,000 for Matthew Kessel's.
When she says Otto Stenberg, maybe, is that because she thinks he's going to make the NHL roster, or is that because he maybe is going back to Sweden?
I would assume that's possibly make the NHL roster.
Okay.
I guess. Right. I don't think he's going back. I don't know why he'd go back to Sweden. He played for Thunderbirds last year.
Right. So. Okay. Because he got moved up from the Sweden's men's league to I don't know. I know we touched on that podcast about him getting like the call up to the AHL.
Yeah. Yeah. So she went NHL
roster. Okay.
Yep. So
You're quick with it, Sam.
Yeah, we give our stat people in the back a lot more love than other broadcasters do. So thanks, Sam. Might have to, Sam. If we ever start making money on this, we'll send you some. Speaking of making money, we don't really make a whole lot of money, but what we do, we get from some of our advertisers. So we talked about scooters earlier. Our favorite scooters are on Highway 163, 153,
143,
143. It's in Highland. I should know this.
You're closer than I am.
I know. That's what I'm saying. 143. You had it. 143 and Troxler Way in Highland, or Vandalia Street and Indian Avenue in Collinsville. If you can't hit out those, you can go to any of the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. And that is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast Scooters Coffee. Our other one is Hughes Custom Design. They make custom hand-painted wood signs. They have options available upon request, or can do any custom job. Those are located out of Maryville, but he can ship them wherever you need. I actually messaged him the other day about seeing what he's got for anything new, like is there a new design, or has he just got the new logos with the new colors? So I'm waiting to hear back from him. Be on the lookout. Once I hear back, probably do some sort of giveaway on Facebook for that. Maybe something tied in with, you got to guess the correct score of the preseason game or something like that. And then we have a like semi new one / old one. So it's 3 companies: All American Sportswear, All American Hat Co., and Imprint Labs is what I think they're kind of transitioning to. Can you see my dog? What is he doing, Wally? So they're all kind of transitioning. So All American Sportswear, and this is my dad's business, so I got to give him extra shout out, extra loves here. Is t-shirts, sports apparel, all that kind of stuff for you to support your local teams. It's actually where we got the jerseys is through him. So they've then kind of semi-transitioned into a hat co, which is our leather patch hats that we have. So we can get those. Now the Imprint Labs is they have this new thing, and Dakota, you haven't even seen this yet, but this is sweet. So this glass-like sign that they can print on now. And they have a bunch of different sizes. They can put anything you want on it. So it's kind of like we have Hughes Custom Design as our wood people, and those things are sweet. So you got to order from them too. But then these are just a metal sign. I will say these are on the more pricier side. The wood designs are a little bit cheaper. Both of them equally nice. So yeah, Imprint Labs for this, All American Sportswear, AA Hat Co. They're all over Facebook, Instagram. So find them, get some stuff. We'll have some pretty cool, giveaways and stuff to do with those. So those are our 3 sponsors for the season. Unless anyone else wants to join, it's always available because we need to start paying Sam.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got another question here. This is great. I love being able to just answer these questions. So do you guys think that St. Louis is going to send down the Springfield? Are we going to get any new players from Springfield? Are they going to have 2-way contracts or just 1-way contract if they are from the ECHL? As far as the ECHL, I don't really pay much attention to it. I mean, even if you think about baseball, like in baseball, I'll pay attention to the Cardinals. Sometimes I'll pay attention to the AAA team, which I think is Memphis. Things at the Memphis Redbirds. But nobody really knows what goes on at AA. So it's kind of like the same thing with this. Like I obviously pay attention to the AHL team, but I couldn't tell you who's playing for the Everblades, who I think is still our ECHL affiliate. So as far as that, I don't know. As far as, the 2-way contracts, yeah, most of them are going to be, it's actually because of how well the St. Louis Blues have drafted the most recent years. You have a lot of people, not even just on 2-way, but on their entry-level deals. So you have a lot of young potential sprinkled in with your kind of career AHLers like Sam Bitten and Matthew Pekka. And so those guys, probably don't have much of a chance. The Bitten and Pekka don't have much of a chance of playing in the NHL, but they're going to play a major role in making sure that Stenberg does, and Lindstein does, and Juracek does, and Colton Ellis makes his way, and maybe Zarenko is the one propelling him to that, whatever it is. So that's, I guess, my probably take on who's going to be down there and why.
Yeah, and they're already starting to trim the roster. I mean, today, as of 10 a.m., they moved 4 guys away. Antoine Durovin from Quebec to his junior team. Lucas Fisher, who we actually touched on last podcast, said he was just an absolute unit.
Because of his fight?
Yeah,
in Minnesota?
From his fight. Yeah, Adam Jetko to WHL Edmonton. Willie McIsaac to Spokane to the WHL. We released goaltender Matthew Korporowski. Released him from his amateur to his amateur tryout back with his junior team. So everybody's now you're gonna find out really soon, probably the next 10 days, probably less, who's gonna be with the AHL team and who's gonna be with the NHL team. Usually they start cutting the AHL team probably within the first 4 games of the NHL preseason, just so they can get down to or up to the AHL team and start practicing and putting in some work there as well, getting some reps. But I would be very, very surprised if the AHL team remains the same next year, because there's going to be a lot of guys that we lose that are easily going to take NHL spots. We haven't even touched on most of the guys. And I want to talk like Theo Lindstein, Leo Loof. Like these guys have Leo Loof at least has been up with us a couple times in the last 2 years. That that's that defenseman spot that you're like, oh, can he play? Will he play?
I think last year, he got called up for maybe 24 to 48 hours and didn't play a game and then got sent down. Because I did even like a small thing with one of the guys from Shake, Rattle, and Goal. I had him on and he gave me all the breakdown of Leo Loof and what we would see while he's playing and all this stuff. And then a couple hours later, they sent him back down. We are like, oh, sweet.
Dude's living out of the luggage.
I think it was Matt from... Oh, yeah. All right. That actually brings me, what you were just saying about next year, brings me to my Teach Me How to Doug section. Let's just go ahead and dive headfirst into that. Before I do that, though, I do have to throw in Teach Me How to Doug music. Oh, nope, not this one. Not that one. This one. Need a video for this or something.
Right, you're in the chair now. Let's see if you got what it takes to run the Blues. Teach me how to Doug. Teach me how to Doug. You're the GM now. Make a trade, make a plug. Cap space tight, but the roster's got a bug. So show us what you got. Teach me how to Doug. Sign them, trade them, send them down to the A. Build a cup team like it's Judgment Day. You got picks, you got cash. Can you make a splash or crash? Better know your lines and match, because fans don't want to see a playoff collapse. Teach me.
And we're gonna stop on playoff collapse because that hurts my feelings a little bit. All right, we got the background music too for the Teach Me How to Doug section. Here's your question, Dakota, and then you can hit yours. I have. Oh, are you listening? I don't even know.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Speaking of next year, it's a long ways away. But after this season, we have 10 players who do not have a contract. I want you to come up with how many we re-sign. Here's the players: Matthew Joseph, Dylan Holloway, Alexander Texier, Alexei Toropchenko, Oscar Sundquist, Philip Broberg, Cam Fowler, Logan Mailloux, Matt Kessel, Nikita Alexandrov. How many of them are you bringing back next year? Now, obviously, money would matter and all that, but you don't have to put that into the equation right now.
Sorry, I'm doing some computing real quick on the old.
Type it in the calculator. Okay.
I'm
10
looking
minus
at
7.
it like this. I'm looking at it like this. So I think we've touched a lot about our future, and I think that's what we need to really think about. One, we're having a future GM in Alexander Steen. We have an absolute metric F-ton of amateur hockey players who could easily make an NHL roster today. And then also we're looking at draft picks and people that are in the farm club that probably aren't ready but will be ready very soon, probably in the next year or two. So that's future, right? I would say the Blues on the high side will probably sign 5 of those guys. And I'm thinking it's going to be Dylan Holloway, Alexei Toropchenko, Logan Mailloux. Now that is like an asterisk because, again, it's hard to kind of figure out if they're going to sign this guy because we don't really know what he did production-wise. I don't feel like the Blues would really sign somebody that they're like, well, we could easily get this for half the price. We've already been cooking a guy in the AHL for like the last 2 years. Obviously, I think we're gonna see Cam Fowler kind of ride off into the sunset, depending on if he stays healthy or not, because he is up there in age. Nikita Alexandrov, that's my like wild card. He hasn't really scratched and sniffed a lot of NHL time, but I do think like his offensive ability and he's a big dude too. Like he's a unit. I would love to see him be a part of the NHL roster. I just don't know how that's going to happen with what we have currently on our roster and what we have cooking in the AHL. I think you're signing Philip Broberg. You kind of if you get Holloway, you gotta keep the tandem together. So Alexei Toropchenko, Broberg, Torpo, Holloway, Mailloux, and I say Alexandrov.
All right. I think that's the easy ones. Yeah, I don't think Joseph, Sonny. Sonny is one I forget is even on the team right now. Like, no offense to Sonny, because we love Sonny. We're big Sonny fans, but as far as the person, but the hockey player leaves some to be,
Well, you got to think if Sonny's on the roster. You said Dvorsky on third line, so where does Sonny go?
Oh, he's either probably a wing on the fourth line or not even playing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I just kind of feel
So,
bad for Sonny because, like, again, like that is a guy that you want to build a roster around because he's a good locker room guy. He provides you with that spark when you need it. He can play that third line center position. He can win those really good faceoffs that you need in your own zone and get you the puck back, and boom, you're back in the O zone. I just like, again, we have such a talented roster of people that I feel like can bring a lot of offensive upside that maybe Sundqvist probably can't. And again, like he's probably going to be in the Blues Fan Forum Hall of Fame at some point down the line. because he's just one of those guys you just got to put in the rafters. But like, where does he fit in this year? Like, we just have that's a good problem to have for our
Right.
team. And as fans, it makes me just giddy just thinking about like, oh my gosh, we have so many people. Like, we just don't have the room.
we do have some answers. Jeremy says Holloway, Broberg, and Mayu for sure. I will say just Holloway and Broberg, I think even just their play last year solidified themselves that they have to be extended at some point, whether you do it this year or you just wait till this next year. But Mayu, I think, is another one that has to be extended just because of the price you paid of getting rid of Zach Bolduc. Even if Mayu has a poor season this year, I think you still have to re-sign him and be like, we need you to pan out, even if you have a bad year, because we gave up Bolduc for you. So you have to give him a shot at least another year or two. Maybe after this year you do a bridge deal and give him 2 years or something. Or if he turns out to be a slam dunk, shoot for that 7. You can't give 8 anymore. That's part of the new thing. You can't give 8-year contracts anymore. 7's the max.
I love that idea.
So yeah. All right. Oh, and Sam says Holloway, Cam Fowler, Nikita Alexandrov, Torpo, and Broberg. So same. And I think that's I don't know if it's the easy answer. Actually, she's got Cam on there. You didn't have Cam.
The reason why I didn't say Cam is I feel like our defensive depth is just we have an abundance of. And I know like we just got a defenseman in the offseason in why can't I think of his name? Mayu. But I just think there's so many guys in the AHL that could easily fill a roster spot or two. So like that's just my hope is that like that's where the Blues go. Is utilizing that talent in the AHL to fill an NHL roster spot. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
We shall see.
You ready for yours?
All right. Yeah, hit me.
All right, so this is really loaded, and I really wanted us to kind of like expand upon this, so like we can deep dive or we can shallow dive depending on how bad.
Do I need to write this down?
No, it's a very, very easy conversative topic that we've touched on the last 2 podcasts, but like you're the host of the podcast, you're the main man, so like I want to get your full perspective of this. So barring that nothing really goes crazy, this is barring no injuries, this is barring like the Blues just haven't really found their rhythm. We're going into the month of December. Okay, now October is when we start the season. We're going in the month of December, and the Blues are at 500. As a fan, but also as like a pocket Doug Armstrong, are you starting to extend some like phone calls to other organizations and expressing interest in other players? Or are we expressing interest in getting rid of some other players? And who would those players be if you had to choose? 500 heading into December. So we've probably had 2 months full.
Well, you got till early March before trade deadline, right? But you also have a large gap in February for the Olympics. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how many games in you are at December, but you still have a little bit of time to make a decision. I would say if there's no injuries, unless somebody is just absolutely playing like garbage, like if Braden Shen just can't handle a puck anymore, or somebody is just terrible, I don't know. Well, I guess someone's going to have to be bad if we're 500. Like we're kind of expecting the team to be better. So somebody's going to have to be playing poorly. But if you go out and trade for somebody, you're going to be expecting them to fill a spot somewhere. So, I mean, based on the roster that we have, if there's a failure, I think most people would expect the failure to happen at the number 2 center spot, which would be Shen.
Braden Shen.
Yeah, he did play well last year, but that was kind of the location of we need to fill that with a higher caliber, maybe just younger player, because Braden Shen was good, easier. I think we're in contending. Like, let's see what happens, but I don't think we're all in buy-in yet. So with no injuries and no roster spots for a person to go, I don't see buying really as much of an option. If it comes to selling, I think you sell the people that you didn't say you were going to re-sign in my question. So you're selling Joseph, you're selling Texier, you're selling Sonny, you're selling Fowler. I think because those are all the guys on 1-year contracts that you don't care if they come back. If it's not Binnington's fault that we're 500 and he's still playing well, I think you still hold on to him just because you have another year of his contract. Like, you have another year. But he's probably going to be the one that holds the highest value. Actually, I'll even rephrase that. If it's December, you don't trade Binnington ever until after the Olympics. You need to get his Olympic bump. And then if you trade him after the Olympics, assuming he's going to play goalie for Canada again.
Who do you think? So this is not like a 1A, 1B, but I'm just curious. Do you think Steen takes lead on this trade deadline? Kind of like he moves the pieces together. And do you think Doug's kind of like in his ear, like, hey, like I would do this, I've done this? Or do you think Steen's kind of like waiting in the wing, kind of watching over Doug's shoulder of how he manipulates his last trade deadline?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I mean, for the last year or 2 years since he's been, dog just sneezed and scared the shit out of me. I think Doug or Steen has kind of been involved in the situations, but maybe more of a, hey, by the way, Alex, this is what we're going to do. Like, just telling Doug, or Doug is telling him that. I kind of think of it as my prepping for becoming a teacher. So for 3 semesters, I have to go observe different teachers somewhere. And then in my 4th semester, that's when I do my student teaching, where I eventually take over a classroom, but I still have the actual classroom teacher there supporting me in the background. And so I do kind of see that kind of happening. It is time for, or by December, around that time, it might be time for Steen to take over as his student teacher, run kind of the show, but still have Doug in the background to kind of help. So I don't think there is a single decision that happens from now until when Steen takes over that Steen is not majorly involved in.
I mean, who else? Who better to look at as somebody who you're going to fill their shoes as a guy who is just a notable, just an absolute assassin of making deals when nobody thought like that was going to happen, right? Like he is very, very, he plays everything close to the chest. I mean, even the Holloway and Broberg, we talked about that all last year. I mean, that dude literally would have stolen grandma's, church money.
That's what he said.
She was, I mean, just the things that he's done. I think Alexander Steen has got a really good guy, a really good mentor to learn from. But I'm very curious to see what the Blues do, come that time, because like we have had these conversations in the past of like, do we stay or do we go? And I think the Blues roster right now on paper, and we say this every year when we start the year, it looks and sounds so good. Do they actually kind of put what they have on paper, on the ice? So I'm very curious. Good teach me how to Doug.
That was a good one. Sam's got an answer for you, and we're going to see. Let's see how the people react to this. Sam says she wants to get rid of Binnington. Again, if we're 500, I'm assuming if we're winning, then she's like, no, keep them all. Let's go win. Binnington, Shen, and Walker. And to be fair, all of these 3 people have term, and all 3 of these people are going to help a contending team become a little bit better. Walker is not going to help as much, but he is just a good 4th line glue guy. Shen and Binnington, if they get traded somewhere, they're going to help a team win. So if you trade those guys because they're going to help a team win and because they have term, you're going to get something decent in return for that.
Sure. I mean, I would hate to see Shen go for a conditional. Like, you got to get a body in return.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah, unless it's like we'll trade Shen. You give us some 22-year-old defenseman that isn't panning out, and maybe we'll see if we can do it. But then you give us a second round pick that could be a first if you make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's fine.
I
Yeah.
take that.
I can see Walker going as a conditional, but like seeing Braden Shen and Benner, like those two names are very integral parts of our Stanley Cup 2019 win. So just kind of seemed apart at the same time. I think it's smart, good idea, Sam, but would be absolutely gut wrenching for the Blues, for the fans at least, for the fans. Maybe not the organization, but the fans definitely.
I would even say, just to throw it out there, I don't think Doug Armstrong really cares about his reputation. I think he is 100% on, my job is to make the Blues better, and I'll do whatever I can do to make the Blues better. And you've kind of seen that in the past by not signing Alex Pietrangelo and not re-signing David Backes, trading Ryan O'Reilly. I mean, shoot, the last 3 people to wear the C have been either traded or purposely not re-signed. So he doesn't care. But is there a thought of, you know what? I really can't trade Binnington and trade Shen and trade all these guys right before I quit. Or not really quit. He's just upgrading positions, I guess. But does that become a problem?
I mean, it definitely could be.
Right. So is that the thought in the back of your head of, I don't want people to murder me because I do still work here? If we trade, Jeremy's got a follow-up question to that. Mason McTavish of the Anaheim Ducks, I believe. I think he's in a holdout right now. Anaheim, I think, is trying to sign him to like a 3 or 4 year deal, and he's like, no, give me the 7 or 8. Let's get this done. But if there is an impasse there, he's probably going to come onto the market. Is that somebody you'd be willing to go to? Because that should, on paper, be someone to fill that 2C role.
Yes. Absolutely. I think we actually talked about it last year. We actually talked about that last year. But yeah.
I think my favorite go-to pickup, if possible, and Montreal, I think, is young, and they're on the up. So I don't even know if they would do this, but Kirby Dach, going and getting Kirby Dach as just a big center, former, I think, number 4 pick in the draft. Unfortunately, he went to Chicago and had to burn a little bit in Chicago, but that would be, I think, a fun one.
I agree.
All right, let's jump into, we're almost at an hour here. Let's jump into some Whose Line Is It Anyway with our new promo music. Game show.
Is it anyway? 3 names, 1 clue. Can you play? Is it first? Is it third? What's the team? What's the word? Better drop the puck. Guess right or sway. Left wing, center, right on the dot. Can you name the squad, or are you caught? From Boston Ice to Calgary Flame, do you know the line or just the name? 3 players, 1 team, 1 shot to get it right. Who's
So good. Hey! AI is just amazing. I don't know. It's crazy. To have AI write that for me and then actually put the music in it is amazing. All right. Do you have Whose Lines for me? Okay. You got 3 of them?
I do. I have 4 technically, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then you go first, and then you do the first one. I'll then go, and then we'll just rotate back and forth. Let's see if we got of any of the same ones.
I imagine this is up to date. I went to Puckpedia.
Oh, okay. I use Daily Face Off. So
and then I also went there.
Okay.
So I was trying to compare, but I feel like this is very up to date. If it's not, I apologize. I might be leading you down the wrong slot here, but we're gonna go. What's up?
It's like you're gonna give me people I've never heard of because they're QMJHLers.
I'm gonna try and give you some ones that are harder, but you're pretty smart, so I feel like you might get these.
I haven't played as much NHL anymore, so I'm not as up to date on the players.
You're gonna start studying because our draft is on Sunday, so we'll find out.
I need to do that. I need to find something.
All right, so we got James Van Riemsdyk. JT Compher, and Jonathan Bergeron.
God. Van Riemsdyk and Comfer, I know, but I don't know where they're playing right now. It's not Detroit, is it?
Wow. Great
Is it?
job. Yeah. Boy, you pulled that out of your ass. Like,
I was trying to think because I've heard of like Van Riemsdyk, but I think he played for Philly before.
JT
don't
Compher
know,
would
but-
have been the only one that I would have been like, okay, Detroit. But then the
That's
other
what
two,
the
I
one
wasn't
I
like,
yeah. That's the one
Yeah.
I went off of. Was I was like, I think Detroit was the last one.
all right,
I don't know the Bergeron or Burger whatever. I'm gonna go fourth line.
bingo. Wow, fucking A.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
All right, I'll give you my first one. This is nuts. This is the order I wrote them in, so I'm not fucking with you any way, shape, or form. Alex DeBrincat, Marco Casper, Patrick Kane.
That's Detroit's second line.
That's the first one I wrote down. I was like, I looked down. I was like, oh shit, I have Detroit as well.
That's funny. That's good shit. Oh boy.
All right, let's see if
All
we
right.
pick the same team again.
I'm gonna go. All right. If we pick the same team back to back, oof, this is rough.
Then this might be fake. We're completely acting. We actually play on this just so we look good.
We're gonna go Tomas Hertl, center, Pavel Doraviev on the right wing, and then Brandon Saad, left wing.
Brandon Saad's on the left wing. Is Hurdle in Vegas?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't. So I know Brandon Saad went to Vegas, but I thought Hurdle was. So I guess did he get traded to Vegas last year? Hurdle.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. All right. So Vegas. Excuse you. Third line.
Bingo. You're
Nice.
batting 1,000 right here, boss. Now I will say these next two could be harder, or this next one will be harder.
Oh God. Should I just automatically guess fourth line? All right, your next one. Jonathan Drouin, Bo Horvat, Maxim Shabanov.
I feel like Bo Horvat got traded, but I want to say New York Islanders.
It is the New York Islanders.
Okay,
I was hoping Jonathan
I
Drouin would throw you off.
I know they got rid of Brock Nelson, and that's when I figured, because the Islanders were absolutely stacked, and they started cleaning house. So Bo Horvat,
Yeah.
okay, so Islanders. I'm gonna say that is gonna be the second line.
That's the second.
Okay, all right.
All right, we're killing it right now. But you have a hard one. This one, my next one for you, I don't think is super hard, but it would be, I think, difficult.
All right, so we've got Chris Kreider, Leo Carlson, and Troy Terry.
Anaheim.
Okay.
Carlson. He's a top pick. There's no way. Is it their first line?
It is. And the reason why I
Really?
thought it was going to be hard is because of the Carlson.
Well, I knew Carlson. I was confused. I didn't think Kreider would be on the first line, or even Troy Terry. Like Troy Terry's good too, but I would have expected.
I just
like
didn't see
second or
that
third
being
for
their
him.
first line.
Yeah, that's what it was confused. But that was like, you know what? They got rid of Zegras, right? Didn't he go to Philly? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then McTavish is
That's
probably
a
on the
shitty
second,
first
so
line, if I had to say so myself. That's
not great, but that's also why they suck. So, whoa. Excuse me. All right. You have Jason Zucker, Ryan McLeod, and Josh Doan.
Who was the first guy you mentioned?
Jason Zucker.
East or West?
East.
Not Philly, not Pittsburgh, not Florida, not Tampa, not Carolina, not Edmonton. Well, that's Edmonton's in West. Montreal.
Nope.
It's not, I'm assuming it's a USA team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I stumped him. Got him.
I honestly have no idea who any of those players are.
Josh Doan used to play for Arizona, like his dad, Shane Doan. So he used to play for Utah.
That's his dad?
Shane Doan,
Jeez.
yeah.
Boy, we're old.
Yeah. They drafted, Arizona drafted Josh Doan and then just traded him this offseason. Utah did. If you remember the big trade that happened.
San Jose?
No, East.
Oh, that's true. Shit. All right, let's go. Like, are they in the south, north, west,
North.
east of this?
They're northeastern team.
Dick move.
Northeast.
Northeast.
I don't know if they're in the Metro.
Devils?
They're probably in the Metro would be my guess. No, it's not the Devils. I can tell you everyone in the Central and everyone in the Pacific, but the Atlantic and Metro, I don't know the difference.
So I'm gonna start throwing them out. Boston? No.
It's funny that
Right.
this is gonna be a team that you're like, these guys don't even exist. They haven't made the playoffs in forever. Even though they should be pretty good.
Flyers?
No. See, this team
Not
is
the
so bad,
Pens?
you can't even think of them.
The Blue Jackets?
No, that's a good one, though. But yeah, it's not the Blue Jackets. I think you have to be Russian to play for Columbus, actually. I think that's the rule.
This is so embarrassing. I am just completely drawing a blank.
This is more on how bad this team has been
Oh, man.
than
Not
on
Carolina. Carolina just made the playoffs, did they not?
No, they're good.
Northeast.
Their
How am I
football team
forgetting?
is really good. Their football team plays in snow.
The Islanders?
Often. No. What
because we
New
had a
York?
good deal.
What
We had
New
a good
York
deal.
football team is good?
Buffalo, New York, Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills are good.
Damn it! Why am I drawing a blank?
What team plays in Buffalo?
Holy shit! It's the Sabres. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad.
I
Oh
can't
my
wait
God, that's right.
for this episode to get released, and people are yelling at you in the car. The Buffalo Sabres, you idiot!
That's funny because I was just looking at like their line combinations, and I was like, first line Tage Thompson makes sense, and I like rolled down and I was like, I have no idea who any of these guys are. I'm not gonna give this to fucking Jacob.
Should have studied.
Came back
more.
and bit me in the ass. I didn't even stat check myself. Damn, that's wild. They're so bad, and it's so bad because
Right,
like
exactly.
they should be good. They should be good. Like with a guy like Tage Thompson, that's just a waste of talent.
Tage Thompson, Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, I mean, Bowen Byram, like
Yeah.
they should be amazing. They had JJ Paterka, they got rid of him. So
Hey,
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly, Buffalo legend. Jack Eichel, Buffalo
Yep.
legend.
right. So
Damn.
did you have one more?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there for you. Absolute legends on this roster or on this line. Jamie Benn, Matt Duchene, Tyler Sagan. I know you already know the
Dang,
team.
that's a line for Dallas. Shoot,
But
where are they
where
playing at though?
Where they play.
They're good though. So that's probably like their third line.
My guy betting 1,000.
That's just like that's hilarious because that's an all-star first line 10 years ago. Like that's
10 years ago, that line would have been routed.
they would have all had 100 points.
Oh yeah. Man.
All right. Good news. I don't have to play NHL more. I'm still up to date on most of the people. So that's good. All right. Most importantly, Sam had another comment. She's a huge fan of Wally. Say hi, Wally. You're famous. Say hi. Luna's just sitting over there. She's the good one that knows that she's supposed to lay down during these, where Wally just needs attention all the time. So that's why we have Wally. All right. Dakota, anything else for tonight?
No, I'm just really excited for Blues hockey to be up and running, man. Finally, we get something to talk about for the remainder of the year and then into next. So, like I said, last two podcasts, Blues are going to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just we have nothing to lose and everything to gain, so we have to.
Let's do it. Make the Stanley Cup playoffs, and let's not do what we did last year. I don't even feel like I can say it more than that. I don't want to give it too much description.
Nope.
Remember it and have nightmares tonight or something. All right. Get yourself some coffee. If you forget to buy it for like a whole month at your house, just make sure you go ahead and stop at Scooters. Check out Hughes Custom Design on Facebook. Check out All American Sportswear, AA Hat Co., and Imprint Labs, whatever name they're going by for this week. It's got everything you need. Or just if you find them on All American Sportswear, you can just send them a message on there and get whatever it is that you need. Big shout out Interstate 70 Sports Media. I do think this is so cool. Like when I started this 4 seasons ago, thinking I have a co-host now with Dakota who is so nice. I don't even think I thanked you, Dakota, but thank you for running the last 2 episodes. Dude, I coached 9 games last week. 9 games in 6 days. We had JV varsity on Monday, JV varsity on Tuesday, freshman game on Wednesday, varsity game on Thursday, JV game on Friday, and then 2 JV games on Saturday.
You're exhausted.
Yeah, I was like, when do I have fun? Never, I guess. But
Jeez.
What I was going to say is it's cool that we have Interstate 70 Sports Media and that this thing is being broadcast right now to our Facebook, our YouTube, as well as Interstate 70's Facebook and YouTube. So, I mean, just getting it out there as much as we can, and just having fun with it is the goal for the rest of the season. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all I have. Dakota, Sam, thanks so much for being here. Love you too, Sam. Thank you so much. I really we're going to get you on retainer or something for our stat checker. All right. And Dakota, why don't you give us a big let's go Blues and we'll get out of here.
Let's go Blues.
All right. See you, everybody.